the books for the countdown for this month so far are already so much better than the last ones. Let's get to it. Hi everyone, I'm Sandy and welcome back to my channel. Today I have 1001 book countdown for you. If you're not familiar with the 1001 book countdown, I will leave a card up here for you where you can go and check out the original video. But basically, I'm reading books off of the 1001 books you must read before you die list and slowly making my way through this massive project. I combined all editions of the book together, which actually gave me 1,315 books to read. I had read a large number of them before I started my channel and just started documenting when I got close to around the 1001 number. But hopefully you consider giving me a subscribe and sticking around and seeing how long it takes me to make it through this massive project. I am rapidly approaching the 200 book mark though, which is absolutely incredible, astounding. I'm beyond thrilled that I'm so close to 200 read since starting my channel. But for today, what we will go ahead and do is put up the numbers, which are 821, which is of course my massive number off of the 1,315. I have 821 left, and 44. So every year at the beginning of the year, I pre-select 52 books with the idea that I would read a book a week and hopefully get that number down to 0. I haven't made it in any of the years I've been documenting this out here, but I'm hoping that 2024 is the year. So far, I'm right on track, but I have 44 left in that for this year. So I think I have a good shot because I'm not behind yet. That's interesting that I think that that's good that I'm just not behind. I don't know. All right, so the first book that I have for you is actually this one, A House in the Uplands by Erskine Caldwell. This is a book I had never heard of before, and this book is the only one by Caldwell on the 1001 list. It isn't necessarily one of Caldwell's most prominent works. Apparently that's a book called Tobacco Road, which I have never read, and Caldwell is famous for writing books that are criticisms of the South, of different things that go on in that environment, and was heavily critical. And this book absolutely 100% represents that. It was originally published in 1948, but it's set in the post-Civil War South on a plantation. And this lovely character on the front is the wife of the plantation owner, who is one of the most vile characters that I have read recently. He is not sympathetic at all. He has run the plantation into a massive amount of debt. He treats his wife like she doesn't matter, like she's not important to him, ignores her for the last part. She is so incredibly needy though in the beginning of this book that you just want to shake her. Like, no, just leave, do something. And that's a position that she probably wasn't able to get herself out of too easily. And she does kind of progress in the novel as trying to, have some progress towards that later. But in the beginning, oh my gosh, she's so frustrating in the beginning. But what the book does a great job of is really showing how plantation owners, once the slaves were freed, still took a massive amount of liberty with them, in that they could say, oh, you're staying in this shack on my property, so I'm going to charge you rent for that, but I'm not going to actually pay you for that. I'm going to give you scraps, give you clothes, give you something else, but not actually give you anything for working my land. And anytime they tried to leave, even though they were free, they would call the police, call the lawmakers in the area, and have them arrested for failure to pay their back debts. And then they would get put into things like chain gangs, things like that. It was very brutal reading about that. And it's like that the plantation owner is intentionally vile in this, and I feel like Erskine Caldwell did that intentionally with this and just made it so he was not likable, and it was a huge criticism to what kind of was going on in this time. Very well done. It's weirdly only rated 3.15 stars on Goodreads. I'm not sure why. It's a short little book, but I actually really got quite a bit out of it. It was a great book to read for Black History Month in February, or it would have been a great one. I did read this at the end of February, but didn't actually get to talk about it till now. And so it would be a great one to read for that, for a short little book if you're looking for kind of like a criticism of plantation owners in the South post-Civil War. Very interesting book. But with this book, we do get to go from 821 to 820, and it was on my 2024 list. So I get to go from 44 to 43. Amazing, incredible. And I have one more book for you. This book is The Return of the Soldier by Rebecca West. Rebecca West actually has 4 books on the 1001 book countdown. One, Harriet Hume, is the only other title I recognize. I hadn't heard of Rebecca West before necessarily. This book was originally published in 1918. And I love this book. I really did. I found that the writing in this book was so beautiful. My only criticism of this book is I wanted more time with the characters. This was her debut novel, apparently. And you can kind of tell because there's a lot that goes on in a very short amount of time, very few number of pages in this particular book. And I wanted to know more about the soldier and his wife and his sister before he went off to war. You kind of start already post-war in this particular book, and he's had something traumatic happen to him. And when he comes home, it's not what anyone expects. And it's very well done. And kind of this trauma of when someone comes home and it's not what you expect and them having to live through that. Oh, just beautifully written, though. I'm really excited about reading more of Rebecca West. And like I said, the only criticism I have is I wanted more of the backstory between the husband and the wife and the sister. So I felt more when he came home and you saw exactly how much was lost, because you get that sense that there's this big loss when he comes home, but you don't quite get the emotional impact that I wanted with that. So yeah, this book I would highly recommend as well, especially if you're looking for a short read. Very well done, beautifully written, and I can't wait to read more by Rebecca West. But with this book, we do go from 820 to 819. I can't believe it. I'm in the teens. Unbelievable. And it was, of course, on my 2024 list. So I go from 43 down to 42 with that. And that is the last book that I have for today. What am I working on? Oh, this one. I'm working on Daniel Deronda by George Eliot. Massive tome, 800 plus pages. I'm reading this for March of the Mammoths with Tiffany over at Beautiful Minutia. You can see that there is a very good bookmark in here because I am halfway through this book now. And about the halfway mark, a little bit before that, was chapter 31. The book sucked me in because there's a very significant thing that happens in chapter 31. And so much so that I was messaging Tiffany going, oh my gosh, it was salty. To coin a phrase from my friend Gemma over at Gemma Books. It was so impactful and so well done. And you just kind of go, ooh, wow. But I am really enjoying this book. And then the next book that I have that I am picking up and will be reading is, of course, this one, The Well of Loneliness by Radclyffe Hall. This is my 1001 book club pick, which I'm hosting with Britta Bowler this year. And you can see that there is a bookmark in here. However, it's not really a bookmark as far as that I've read anything, because that just takes you to the beginning of chapter 1. So yeah, very good book. I'm sorry, I haven't started reading this yet. I'm excited to read this one. I think it'll be great to read this one. And I can't wait to dig into this particular character. That is what I have going on. What have you been reading? Have you read anything good? I'd love to hear that in the comments down below. If you don't feel like leaving a comment or comfortable leaving a comment, leave me emoji. And today is a gorgeous sunny day in the Pacific Northwest, so leave me some kind of a sunshine. I would love that. I hope everyone is doing well. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, thanks. Bye.